Hi, welcome back. All right. In today's lesson, we are going to be treating importance of leveling. Now, also note that we treated in the previous classes, we treated um, meaning of leveling. We also looked at these objectives. All right. So mainly it was meaning of leveling and also um, understanding leveling very well from basics. Yeah. And then we looked at some of these objectives, like we just read it out, or just for you to know the content of what we're going to be doing in this particular video. Okay, so in this particular lesson we will be looking at importance of leveling. All right, what are the importance? Okay, what's leveling used for? What does leveling help us in real life scenario, in real life sense? What does it help us achieve? Okay, the first one here is it helps us construct roads and buildings, right? All this, it helps us to construct roads and buildings. All right. In a building site, there's usually a leveling process in a building site before you even construct a building, anything at all in a building site. You may often need to know where your benchmark is in a building or a construction site. This benchmark is where you take other measurements from, right? Other level, other ground level, other points on the site from. That's the particular uh, point there. So that point is very important in this building or construction work. All right. Also in road construction, even in bridges too, we use leveling to do that. Now, the second one we're about to be dealing with is this particular one here. Um, Second one is to prepare contour maps. Now, what is contour maps? All right, contour maps are maps in which they use lines to represent points, and these lines use these lines are used to represent the sizes and also the elevation of points on um, on the map. All right, so instead of using some structure, they use lines to design this particular map. All right, this once you see most of these lines, they have meaning. All right, so these lines are called contour lines. Okay, it's a kind of map that represents structures by size and height using using lines to do that. Okay, so leveling helps us to prepare contour maps too, right? So the next one we're going to be looking at is the establishment of benchmarks. Like I said in the previous one here, during a building construction rather, we usually establish what we call benchmarks. Okay, a benchmark is a known point. It's a point on the site actually with a known elevation from the sea surface, right? That's what a benchmark is. When we are actually defining leveling terms, I will actually go deeper on this particular uh, heading here. All right, so the next one is drainage and sewage designs. All right, I won't have to dwell much on that. Okay, but then for doing leveling helps us to achieve drainage and sewage design. All right, and then the next one here is to determine a slopy land, determination of land slopes. Right, so that's another one there. You get it helps you know when the land is slopy. Sometimes a place can be slopy, but your eyes cannot just see it. But when you carry out this leveling process, you can actually know that that particular site actually is slopy. All right. Imagine you're asked to, maybe you're a surveyor, and you're asked to carry out a survey uh, on a place where there will be no flood actually. So in this case, you may have to look at all the elevations of every point on that particular for that particular site, and then determine which side is slopey and which side is a kind of balance hollow. Okay, so when you determine all these parts, it now help you, it will help you to conclude a decision, all right, to help you to draw conclusion. Okay, so as to know where the flood can steady, and so as to know where the flood can move, can move uniformly out. You get so what helps us to achieve this is just leveling. Okay, you determine a slopey place, and then to also do earthwork calculations, to also do earthworks calculation. This happens most on sites, all right? So they do calculations. Whenever you're carrying out any kind of leveling, you must do calculations to arrive at reduced level of each point, all right? So that involves the earthworks calculations and all that. Okay, so this is the end of this particular subhead. What we just looked at is the importance of leveling. There are other importance, okay, but maybe I didn't just mention them in this particular lesson. All right, so let's move to something very nice, some other stuff like such as leveling, instruments used in leveling, or instruments used in leveling during surveying. All right, during survey. All right, instruments used during survey. All right, the diagram you're actually seeing here, in this particular on your on the board, the diagram you're actually seeing here is called automatic level or optical level. Okay, it's equivalent to to the other old one. It looks like the other old one. What is it called? Dumpy level or something. Dumpy level. All right, it's a very old mechanical one actually, but this one saves you more error than the dumpy level. All right, so we're going to be looking at each of these parts here. Okay, we're going to be looking at each of these parts here. All right, the dumpy level is a leveling instrument which helps to align, all right, the elevation whenever you're using it. It helps to align elevations. Okay, so I'm saying that you know that human can be wrong at times. Okay, by viewing through a place, someone can stay somewhere and sight through somewhere and measures 1 meter, and then someone can also, I mean, with the naked eyes, and then so another person can also sight through the same place, the same distance, but can measure 1.5 meter. You get? But then what this does is whenever you're using it, it avoids those errors you must have made. All right, it avoids them. Okay, it makes you avoid those um, errors you must have made. All right, so what I'm saying is this particular instrument helps to determine the elevation or the reduced level itself by sighting through one part of it, by sighting through this part, through the objects you're sighting them through here, but your eye needs to be on this particular part. Then you're sighting the objects through here, through the object lens here, through here. Yeah. So it helps you get a straight line of sight. All right. I showed you what a line of sight is in the first video when I was using an illustration to explain what leveling was actually. So we are also going to check on it, but it's not on this particular video. Okay, so now let's look at them bit by bit, but I'm not think I'm going to be treating all of them. All right, so the first one here we're going to be looking at is object length. All right, the object length. Now the object lens is actually the lens designed for your eye to view the object from here. All right, say the object is around here. say the object is around here, right? If an eye is here, your eye is actually here, okay? Your eye will be viewing through here, viewing this object here, and another person here, right? Something like that. So that's what I'm trying to say. So the reason why it's called object lens is because it actually views objects on that particular side. So the next one we are going to look at is the peep or your gun sight. The peep or your gun sight. Let me take you back to your guns, right? You know your guns. Every gun has a gun sight. The gun sight is to horizontally place the um, the gun, the pistol, straight enough that you can hit your target, right? So that's what a gun sight helps you do. It helps you horizontally place this enough such that okay, you know that you have actually positioned it vertically and horizontally enough that you can see the leveling staff far distance. All right, so that's what gun sight helps you to do. Now the next one we are going to be looking at is the focusing knob. This particular one, the focusing knob. The focusing knob, just as you heard the word focus, right? Focus. When you adjust it, it helps to bring the. It's more like magnifying and kind of through scales. You magnify when you bring it brings the object closer to you as you adjust it, as you wind it, adjust it. It brings the object closer to you. The object you're viewing here brings it closer, that is, it magnifies it. Then when you adjust it further, then it brings this um, object further from you, right? So that's the work of this particular knob here, particular knob. And then the next one we're going to be looking at is this horizontal circle here. Right. It has so many work, all right? But this horizontal circle, to me, it has so many work. It can adjust, as you can see, this particular circle can adjust, right? It can rotate. I mean, this particular, I think it helps this particular instrument to rotate around and so on. I believe it might have some other um, essential job it's doing. Okay, so the next one now is this leveling screws. Now the leveling screws or the foot screws helps to adjust the spirit level here to balance. All right, okay, in case you didn't see that, let me clean it up. The more you adjust these three screws here, these three legs here, the more it's adjusted to the center or something. The spirit bubble to is adjusted to the center. So that's how it is done. I've actually not seen this leveling instrument, but I've seen a video of it and how they're adjusting it, and then all of that. All right. The next one is the bubble tube. All right, the bubble tube. All right. Now, the bubble tube is not this part you are seeing. The bubble tube is actually this part, this spirit, this here, this circular bubble tube here. Now, it contains liquid and air, right? It's trapped inside the liquid. Now, this air moves around. This air now has to be steady on the at the center. It has to be steady on the center. And the tendency or the criteria for it to be steady at the center, like I told you, spirit level, is by adjusting these foot screws here. When adjusting these foot screws, then this guy could be steady, can just be steady at the center. All right. So that's the bubble tube or the circular bubble tube. All right. It's also called, as you can see, spirit level or whatever. So then let's move to the next one. The next one is the this is six. Number seven is the base plate. All right, the base plate uh, is actually what attaches this whole thing, this whole system here with the tripod stand. I'll show you how this tripod stand looks like. All right, so this base plate here, this stuff here you're seeing, let me check it out. This stuff you're seeing around here, this guy, this whole guy, this whole guy here is what actually attaches it to the tripod stand. Okay, so now the next one we're going to be looking at is number 8, the horizontal tangent screw. Now the horizontal tangent screw in this case is this particular screw helps us. If you check at this should be the screw too. If you check this part, this one too, this screw and this other screw should also be the horizontal tangent screw. Now they help us to make um you know that this leveling instrument now can shift. A very little shift can I mean, like, they can shift very little, and then when you notice it, you use these screws to adjust to a precise um direction horizontally, a precise direction, all right, of this whole leveling instrument to sight your object very well. All right, meanwhile this one just helps to bring the object closer, and this one helps in the adjustment and the precise sighting and precise keeping it steady at a precise direction. All right, so you need these screws to do that. Okay, now the ninth one is the telescope. So the telescope here in this case is actually the whole of this guy. All right, remember, a telescope has a place where you view from the eyepiece. It also has the object lens. All right, so the whole of this guy here along this line, this horizontal line, is a telescope. All right, it is what enables you. The telescope has lens that enables you to view and also to sight. Okay, so that is just the telescope there in this particular case. There is nothing much. A leveling instrument is mainly made up of a telescope. All right, that's the idea there. All right, so you need to know it is the idea there. It's usually made up of the telescope. Now let's move to another one. Let's move to another one, which is our next one here, which is let's see what we do here. You can view this particular another one here. You can view it here too. Now this one is not that it is a dumpy level. This is not a dumpy level. Okay, this particular one you're seeing here is not a dumpy level. Okay, never a dumpy level. It's just like what you saw before. All right, so uh we have different type of leveling instruments. All right, this one is just like what you saw before. Now another one here is okay, no, but then see how the dumpy level looks like here. All right, and again, see the staff you can view from here, and another one here is well, I will show you the staff one by one. Okay, so this one here is the staff here. This is not the staff actually. It's called the tripod stand. It's called this tripod stand. Okay. Now remember that plate, that the foot plate or whatever you call it, the foot plate. It will now be inserted here. The foot plate will now be inserted here. Let me use my highlighter. Somewhere around here, that hole you're seeing there. All right, so that's where it's inserted and it makes it firm. Now this particular one is called the tripod stand. Okay, the tripod stand has pins. Okay, it has pins. You can see pins everywhere. All right, so it's tripod because it's three. Okay, so it has pins. Now these pins are meant to be inserted to the ground from, I think, from here, meant to be inserted to the ground. meant to be inserted to the ground. Now, to hold this particular instrument firmly on the ground, so you don't just shift it and move it, and nothing just moves it like that. Even some kind of breeze level doesn't move it like that. All right, so it just helps it to um, pull it in the ground and then have that kind of firm structure on the ground while this level instrument is on it. Okay, so the only thing you do on level instrument is to rotate it around. You don't actually have to move this whole thing here. You're only rotating this level instruments around. Okay, so that is just what it does. All right, now the next one we are going to be looking at is let's look at it. Look at when it's constructed here. Look at what happens, like this particular one, now. This is a pin here, this is a pin here, and also this is a pin here. So when you insert all these things inside the ground, it will now get to this level, this particular level here, and also this particular level here, some other level, and remains on the ground. So what you only do is to rotate this guy to and fro, depending on the points you're about to view or not. All right, so now now let's look at another one called the staff, leveling staff. This is what the leveling staff looks like. Okay, this is what the leveling staff looks like. All right, so a leveling staff is an instrument used to actually measure the calibration, the elevation, the the reduced level, actually reduced level or elevation from a point. All right, using the automatic level instrument. All right, so it's more like you are keeping. Okay, so it's more like this, actually. It's more like this. You keep the whatever with the tripod stand, the level instrument with the tripod stand, somewhere afar this staff here, and then you read through this area. You read through this area, sight it through this area with your eye, and then whatever the reading gives you here on the staff is whatever is the elevation from this point of the staff to that point of that reading. Say it's 3 meters. All right, so from this point of the staff to that point of the reading. So this is how it's constructed on a site. All right, so that's just it. Now we also have other instruments such as the change plate. All right, I'm not pretty sure we have the change plate here. However, the change plate now, you know that site can be slopy, the ground can be slopy, the ground itself can be slopy. All right, so what you need to actually place this stuff on it is just that change plate. The change plate looks like this: a round circular object that is steady. It has a flat bottom that is steady on the ground, no matter how bent the ground is. All right, it's steady on the ground. So you just bring that guy here, you bring it somewhere here, keep it on the ground level first before you place the leveling stuff on it, so that it will determine a like it will not follow how slopey the ground is and how rough the ground is. It will just remain smooth and straight. You get? So that's change plate. All right, there. And we also have other instruments too. Other instruments we can use to erect this staff. You know that on the other hand, somebody is actually holding the staff. Somebody somebody here is actually holding the staff. All right, for another person here to view through it, all right. So another thing you can also use to hold the staff is, I've forgotten the name actually, but there is an instrument used to erect the staff vertically straight. just something like this, vertically straight. All right, so it's used to erect it. Okay, that's another part of another instrument there on the ground level, but it's not often used. Okay, um, surveyors do know how they work on the site surface. All right, using just this leveling staff and the leveling instruments actually, so they know how to they work on it. Okay, now having done this, we have actually treated what we call both importance and the instruments used in surveying. All right, so we have actually treated the importance and the instruments used in surveying. Now, in summary, I'm saying that surveying helps us in construction and construction of roads and building, preparation of contour maps, and I mean establishment of benchmarks, known points on the Earth's surface, and also determination of land slopes, and also earthworks calculations, and also that's just what I said. And then in addition, I just explained these things. Now, this particular one, I did not mention this particular one, all right? I don't think I mentioned this particular one, did I? So, so this eyepiece now, all right? There's this eyepiece I didn't mention. This number 10 here. Like I said, I've been emphasizing on it. That's where your eye actually is peeping. That's where you are peeping. Your eye is peeping through this particular um, side of the telescope. All right. So when your eye peeps through this side of the telescope, the object is being viewed on this other side of the telescope. All right, so that is how it's done. Okay, so that's just it for the lesson. Our next lesson will be based on leveling terms. Okay, but before we're looking at leveling terms, we're also going to be looking at other things too to know before we look at leveling terms. Like for example, this particular diagram you're seeing here, I'll be defining what you're seeing here actually, and also help you to understand what you're seeing here. Then defining leveling terms, just as we've always one by one, right? Defining leveling terms one by one. Okay, so stay tuned, turn on your notification. In case of I drop this particular video, you will be notified that I have dropped this particular video. Like the video if you actually loved what you saw. All right, um, have a nice day. My name remains Hope Isong, your favorite tutor. All right, have a nice day. Thank you very much.